I'm going to talk a little bit today about the role that design can play, not only shaping communities, but kind of transforming lives. And as an organization, we're extremely fortunate to be able to work with some incredible clients. For us, we don't often get a big budget. We don't often get a long lead time for doing projects. And we don't often kind of get the opportunity to make mistakes. You have to really be very creative and very thoughtful about the way you work. The polite rule is get it built. Is most importantly, you just have to get the project built. But the underlying rule is no ego, no logo. So, we don't hire architects or designers with egos. If you have a huge ego, you can go and work for somebody else. But we also, our funders and partners don't get their logos on the buildings. So we've actually lost a lot of potential funding and a lot of potential design partners because they want to have their big name on the building. But when you're working on a community level, you create such ownership locally that the last thing you do is you open the building and you put a sign on there that basically tells the community that they don't own this building. It was a gift from somebody else. So we have to make sure that when we do this work, it's really impactful. A footwear company from Beaverton, Oregon phoned me up and said, we want to do sports programming for social good and we want to use design and innovation as the basis to create change. They said, apparently you guys are the experts at doing this. So it worked the first time and I said, yes, we're the experts at doing this. They said, we would like to hire you. It turned out to be Nike. And so they said, we'd like to do sports facilities in 30 countries globally over the next 4 years. So these projects were focused on all different things. In South Africa, we use these facilities to not only tackle violence, figuring out the most violent parts of these informal settlements, and using urban acupuncture, putting these projects in areas that will create that change. We galvanized the community to develop not just a soccer field, but after-school education, healthcare, HIV/AIDS training, and vocational training. Because what we learned from the first competition is if you half the HIV/AIDS rate in a community, what have you done? You've given half the community another reason to live. So now you've given people a reason to live, you have to give them a life. So figuring out how do we do skills training and job creation with a lot of these young people. This is one of my personal favorites because it's one of the first projects that I first got to be a part of. This is a football program that brings together Hutu and Tutsi kids who were born after the genocide. And it's a reconciliation project where there's no referees in the games. They actually have to, if anything goes wrong, if there's a foul, they have to talk to each other and decide how to deal with that issue. And it's been incredibly successful. And so they built this facility that's like a real beacon of the community, using local materials, local craftsmen, this box lights up at night. It's in the valley of this settlement. So you basically have, rather than building a 100,000 person stadium, we just put the football facility in a location that's surrounded by 100,000 houses. So you can be in your house and see your kids playing football at the bottom. So the idea of locating the building correctly. So we asked kids to do 100,000 paper cranes in a month. And we had a funder, Jackie Vsauce, and she said, I'll donate $1 for every crane made, and we'll collect them and we'll do something with it. And that's all we said. We put it on Twitter and Facebook, and we put it on the website, and a month later, 4 million cranes showed up. Wow. So, unfortunately, Jackie didn't have $4 million. So we had this very interesting conversation about well, you did say $1 per crane, and we do have 4 million cranes, so I was not good at math, but I think you owe me $4 million. And so she was like, okay, let's call it 400. So we ended up raising 400,000 from her, and then the kids matched it. So we raised almost $1 million from this. And not only did these cranes kind of come together, this is Vic Muniz who kind of created this massive poster, But in the schools that we're building, we've been handing out the cranes to every kid in the school that actually are handwritten notes from all the children that participated in the program. So this idea that this kind of pay it forward system goes. Less than 3% of the world uses a designer. Sorry, this is a depressing bit for those who are designers. And of those 3% of the world that uses a designer, less than 0.0000001% of those designers are known by anybody, right? Because the New York Times only reports on 20 architects and designers. So like this is like, if there's 1 million people in the design arts right now, and there's less than 20 people that are famous. So if you want to spend the next 30 years try to be a 1 in 100,000 chance of getting known, you can do that, that's okay. I have the bottom 25% of the world, that's mine, right? We're all in agreement? I get that billion, that's for me. I'm going to leave you with the 4 billion people that are known as the emerging middle class. These are the people in Brazil, Colombia, Kenya, Tanzania. These are the people that when they get a little bit of money, they spend it on 3 things. Healthcare, education for their kids, and improving their living situation. There's a multi-billion-dollar business happening every single day, and not a single designer is a part of it. And like I say, you can be completely heartless. I've met some heartless people, and I've convinced them this is where you can make a lot of money, transforming lives. So, don't sacrifice your soul. If you're not meant to live in a cubicle, don't live in a cubicle, right? This is what my architects look like. Right? They're a little stinky, but they haven't sacrificed their soul. And focus on what truly matters to you. To me, it's not that we just create beautiful buildings, but we have beautiful people that inhabit them, that love them, that cherish them, that understand the value of having a good designer working with them. And the only thing I want you to remember is break the rules, especially when it comes to giving presentations, and get it built, because it only matters once it is built. So join us. I'm hiring. Does anybody here need a job?